Thank you. Thank you so very much. I had a fairly long and exhaustive speech that I wanted to give, but I think I'm going to shorten it just a little bit and talk a little bit of different direction. Many of you in the room, as indicated from Governor-elect Hogan, probably had a different expectation and a different belief about the outcome of the recent gubernatorial election. So did I. But as I indicated to Governor-elect Hogan yesterday, that is now behind us. We are now moving forward. I pledged to him that I am prepared to work on behalf of the residents of Montgomery County and for the better good of the entire state of Maryland. And that means that we may do things differently, but the objective is still the same. As I informed him yesterday, the challenges that we face in Montgomery County as it relates to school construction, transportation, transit, and all of the things that we've advocated over the last few years are legitimate and are in the interest of not only Montgomery County, but for the state of Maryland. You heard you heard in his remarks a very good description of how Montgomery County has weathered through the difficulties of the recession and how we stand out in many ways as an exception. But I informed him that exception in many ways could be taken in two different directions. On one hand, people look at Montgomery County as an exception and therefore treat us as though we are an ATM machine. On the other hand, that exception should be used this way, to remind him, as I indicated yesterday, that Montgomery County is the economic engine of the state of Maryland, that we should not be treated as an ATM machine, but you should work very hard to help and to assist Montgomery County, because as our fortunes are lifted, it helps not only to lift Montgomery County, but lift the entire state. So that if you want to achieve the objectives of job growth, economic growth, development across the board in the entire state of Maryland, you'd have to do that by the inclusion of Montgomery County, Maryland. That's the message that we want to send. We are together on that point. And I believe that we should make sure that we inform everyone of that fact, that it is in the behalf and for the entire state that we do well. And that starts with recognizing our needs for transit here. It starts with recognizing our need for growth across the board. Keep in mind, basically what was stated here about the growth in Montgomery County, our unemployment level, our ability to provide the taxes for the rest of the state. We can't do that if we are choked and unable to move forward on the transit projects that we have. We have somewhere in the neighborhood of 100,000 jobs that are in the pipeline. But those jobs look awfully good on paper, but they will stay on paper unless we're able to ensure that we have the transportation to move them forward. And if that happens, not only will Montgomery County suffer, but the rest of the state of Maryland. That's the common agenda that we all have. And we are working to ensure that that agenda is moved forward. We should work together with this governor. He has a great plan for economic development that I think can work if we are prepared to work together. But you cannot do that if you look at Montgomery County as an ATM machine. You cannot do that by looking at Montgomery County in a way that does not provide the kinds of incentive for all of you to want to continue to produce and make certain that we have the leverage that we need. This is not a partisan issue. This is an issue that affects all of us. And we will have to deal with that for the next 4 years and beyond if we are not capable of recognizing in this room that this is the committee for Montgomery, but it's also the committee for Montgomery that helps the rest of the state of Maryland. That's the message that we're sending here tonight. We're working together. But the last time I checked, I am the county executive of Montgomery County, and our interest should be paramount in what we do in Annapolis. Thank you and have a wonderful morning.